Hey everybody, it's Rachel. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking part in another one of my favourite hobbies. Smuggling things. Yes, welcome back to the return of Will It Smuggle. Today with A2A's Comanche. We are smuggling, as you might have guessed, Canada's most rare and illicit substance. Maple syrup. No, I'm not kidding. We are smuggling, in fact, maple syrup. A friend of ours, Pablo, who we do a lot of work for down south of the border, he has a Canadian cousin called Dave. Well, Dave has a shipment that needs to get to a friend across the border pretty quickly, and it can't be caught by the Mounties here, or Border Patrol to the south. So we have to get going. We have to do something pretty subtly, so I'll tell you more as we get going. But I'm going to get ourselves spun up here. That is set to the right position we wanted it in. Let's make sure these are all good to go. Make sure this is where it's meant to be. Crack the throttle. Fuel pumps on. Let's give it a quick pump on the primer. And let's get going. Give it a quick pump there to give it a bit of a nudge in the right direction. And I'm going to put the brakes on because I'm an idiot who forgot to. Starter electronics. Leave that open for the time being while we just get warmed up. And I will let you know, basically we're flying south from Nelson here in British Columbia. We're flying down towards Salerno. We're skipping Castlegar because it's too populated. Flying down to 57 Whiskey Alpha, which is West Farms, which is near Othello in Washington. Now, it's a pretty routine flight, but you know what? These smuggling trips make things more interesting, give us more reason to do things in a more interesting way. Captain Whiskers is joining us again as our navigator and expert flight engineer. He will be doing his best to not pay attention to what I'm trying to do, and I'm running too high on my RPM here for the warm-up of the oil. Should be about 1200 on the RPM. Keep us good, and just make sure these are turned on. And we'll soon be ready to depart, which is no problem from here. No, I don't want to prime it. I want to lock it. There we go. Click and rotate. Problem solved. Our temperatures right now are coming up. Oh, oil temp's actually pretty fine. So we're going to get this set as it needs to be. I think that's the right direction, not sure. That's what we wanted? Yeah. Okay. Let's get out of here, shall we? We got some maple syrup. Oh, I forgot one important factor. Actually load the maple syrup. We're going to pretend by loading the aircraft to full capacity in the fuel payload, which we already are. Fantastic. We planned ahead. So we'll get ourselves set up for 2-2 departure today. Winds are 270 at 11 knots. So should be basically up and down the length of the valley here at Nelson, BC. I'll link this scenery and the West Dinghy Farms one and the livery in the description of the video, so you can grab those. As well as always the Got Friends Best Friend pack for the co-pilots. A bunch of cute animals there to have as your friendly pilots. Of course, we've got the weird twins in the back there. They've seen some things and taken some things as well. Hopefully not the maple syrup. Not that it would have an effect on you psychedelically. No. That is not how this maple syrup works. I'm pretty sure. I say I'm pretty sure. I have no idea. But Dave always seems very laid back. Who knows? Alright, this should be more than enough runway. We don't need a ton. Let's get ourselves turned around here. We're configured for departure, so we'll get ourselves out of here in no time. And punch it. 1 for the money, 2 for the show. 3 to get ready now. Let's get lost. Of course, we're going to have to stay low today. We have many things to consider. No, speed's alive and we're in green. Okay, wonderful. That's coming up and that's coming up, and we're going to stay low here. Rolling behind the 2 trees that are probably going to take my landing gear out if I'm not careful. And we'll aim for the valley over here. Pass over a huge Canadian freight train down there. It goes on for literally miles. In every direction. Well, not in that direction. That's a tree. We don't want to hit that. No. Today we'll continue with the Mounties to the north. US Border Patrol to the south, and you know what they're like. TSA will put their rubber gloves on if they can find me with a small a small bottle of perfume or, I don't know, water or something non-threatening. So we have to be very careful about them. But we also have to watch out for the beavers and the otters. Now, they've got beavers down there with anti-aircraft guns and otters spotting for them. So I was very smart before this trip. I replaced the chaff dispenser on this aircraft, because we fitted one, obviously, with a sawdust dispenser. They can't resist it. It is irresistible. It is completely impossible for them to avoid going for it. We just fire out sawdust when they lock onto us, and we are good. No surface-to-air mammals. We should be fine. Absolutely good. Right, so we're a little bit high up here, so let's drop down. We'll drop our RPM and manifolds into the range we want, about 25. The manifold, drop this down to 23. For some reason, this keeps raising my bloody head up. Okay, we can turn off our pumps as well. Notice how loud the wind actually gets in this plane. And the nose-up trim is quite hefty until it starts to get a bit low. So we drop down here. The valley should help to prevent us from being spotted on radar, realistically. It can be rather tricky down in these, but more importantly, once we get out into the open ground, we'll have to be even lower. But for now, this should shield us relatively well without an actual active ping. We've got a couple of roads and a river down here to worry about. We should be good and out of here in no time whatsoever. Should be a quick run down the valleys here. Like I said, we don't want to go too close to Castlegar. It's a big hub, and we'll get spotted quite easily there. So we'll avoid doing that. Got a lake here. Popping down over the water just to say hi. Salute the salmon. And we'll keep ourselves generally tucked in as well as we can. These missions are always fun when I do them because it's a challenging kind of flying. This is not like your typical GA $100 hamburger. Those are enjoyable, sure. I can plot my VORs, I can even fly simply just using charts. I can use the GPS, I can go to A to B. But I like to throw in a bit of technical flying, where there are various considerations to work in beyond the simple, to make things more interesting, because it is more fun that way. And I think that's important for us as flight simmers, to find fun reasons for things. And I saw the Canadian livery for the A2A aircraft and knew exactly what my mission had to be. I knew I wanted to use the Comanche because A2A's aircraft has become a fast favourite of mine. But I wanted to use the Comanche. I saw that livery on flightsim.to and I thought, okay, we have a Canadian smuggling mission. Pablo can wait. We'll do a mission for his Canadian cousin, and then we'll be on our way. Right, down here, and it should be kicking around to the right. Tuck into those trees, keep ourselves as succinct as possible. That's a tree. Okay. Oh, the wind does not like this kind of flying, does it? We're very fast. Let's pull the power back here. We are very quick. And our doors are locked. It's just airframe wind sound. We are rattling along. It's actually very loud. I wonder if that's actually toggleable. I know A2A aircraft have had that sort of thing in the past. I'm just not sure if there's anything that I'd be able to do flying. I think that's just master volume. It's not specifically anything in particular. Turbulence stuff. Three-way gear switch with prop lever. Older radios. Why am I doing this? I think we'll be fine. That's just fine. We'll go with this. I think I'm on course? I'm on course. Wonderful. There's the river. Still looking good. And there's the road. So like I said, we're heading down towards Salerno. And we should be good there. Let's keep ourselves nice and low here. The terrain will get more interesting as we get further on. Don't worry. We're not just going to be constantly flying down green chutes the entire way. But we should be good in no time whatsoever. So it should be a straight kick along here. Take us down towards Salerno itself. I'm probably mispronouncing that one. We are passing through a couple of areas here. The Bonham Steed Recreation Site. Or the Bonington Steed, sorry, Recreation Site. A Canadian will murder me for mispronouncing that one. And to the side of the West Arm Provincial Park. Very Canadian sounding. Drops us down towards Salmo, not Salerno. Salerno, I've been pronouncing like Salerno in Italy. Salmo which is just on the Canadian side of the border here. Kicking around to this side. Wouldn't be MSFS if we didn't have rivers on their sides. They really do make the sim feel far more realistic. Hello, person's house. Don't worry, we're the Canadian Air Force. We're off to go rescue a cocaine bear. Fear not, we're here for no reason illicit at all. Yes, just accept this yellow aeroplane with maple leaves on it and red as rescuing beavers and or moose, or what did I say? Okay, cocaine bears. Yes, we're rescuing cocaine bears. Now, if any of you think beforehand that I am reading from some sort of script I had planned for this flight, you would be sorely incorrect. I plan nothing ahead. I navigate, obviously, that's important, but you think I plan what I'm going to say before a video? Yeah, you are so mistaken. I have no idea what's going to come out my mouth, and that's the best part. Because often it will surprise even me. What's that? Oh. Like a foot trail, small dirt track. Got a single track down there. Alright, let's drop the noggin down a little bit. We should be coming up soon. On the big turn. I think this is bringing us the right way. At least it should be. Round we go. Like I say, things will get a bit more technical when we get a bit lower down. As we get out of the mountains. But this is all to avoid Castlegar. Too big a town, we'll get spotted instantly. The airport's there, there's radar. We'd get picked up. We have to take the long way around. But it is arguably a far prettier way around, even if we don't get to see a ton of it from down amongst the weeds, but we still get to see quite a lot. There we go. It's very windy. I need to slow down again. I don't know which of my waypoints has me at slow-mo. I'm pretty sure it's a big turn at that point, and we're still generally facing south. I think this is it, yeah, I think this is Salermo coming up ahead of us. That's a lot of sheds. What are they doing here? Is this the maple syrup facility? Are we flying over Dave's maple syrup shenanigans? What have they done to this? Oh god, these sheds have multiplied and had shed babies. Oh god, that's a fly straight. Stop paying attention to the crack sheds. That is ridiculous, Flight Sim. That is like a hectare of shed. It might actually be like greenhouses or something realistic, but that looks quite amusing. Okay, so we're taking a right here. We should have us over Salmo. And then we drop down, and this is where things get a bit more interesting. So we just stay lower here. Let's trim our aircraft up nicely. We'll fly down the road. Nobody will see an aeroplane flying down the road. They will think we're a very yellow car. Nothing aeroplane related is happening here, folks. Do not pay attention. We are a taxi. Yep. A very, very fast taxi cab. That's asking for trouble, flying like an idiot. But I like to fly like an idiot. It's much more amusing than flying like a sensible person, which is boring. Fly like a normie and fly airliners. There we go. Nice and easy. Not even that difficult. And we're taking this turning here. I should indicate. Airplanes need indicators. They really do. We should really have indicators on airplanes. There we go. Now we need to stay low as this terrain widens out. Oh no, we're not a taxi. We're definitely a... What's a yellow bird? We're a parakeet. Yes. Don't mind us. River tracking this way. Not hit a tree. Trees are not forgiving. Or particularly rubbery, as I've discovered. Unless they're rubber trees. Which are also surprisingly hard. I feel that's a marketing issue they should really work on. You know, I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I really don't. And even that remark has me scratching my own head. Why do I say these things? What on God's green earth makes me think that's a really smart thing to say? I don't know. I'm still thinking about the hectare of shed amalgamating itself into one blob of shed. Alright, lake. There we go. Now, Pablo's giving us a break to work up here. It's much cooler, which is better for my general kind of health and happiness. I must admit I like flying in cooler conditions. The maple syrup is starting to off-gas a little bit, which is concerning. I didn't think maple syrup did that, but you never know. I've been told to get there quickly, just in case anything goes wrong. I mean, I might be a greasy, sticky smear on the side of a mountain if I'm not careful. But then again, that could always happen by flying anyway, so who knows. Alright, where are we going from here? I don't think we're kicking left straight away. I could also be wrong. But the terrain seems to be dropping away, so let's make sure we're managing how we're positioned. Those skies are dark and unforgiving. No, I don't think we're going that way. No, I think we're going after this branch up ahead. Fly like a Ukrainian Amazon delivery pilot. Low enough that you can see the individual blades of grass. And you have to pull up when you hit a tree. Well, when you arrive at a tree. Hit a tree is the wrong word to use when you're flying amongst them. Yeah, they'll be after this headland over here. Keep my trim in place. We'll have Dave's supplies there in no time whatsoever. Turning under a minute, so it should be after here. And then it's a straight shot out as we get to the open ground. This is where we have to stay low. This is where things are a bit more open. Right, time to be a taxi again, I think. Nope, this is a bit narrow. This is a bit narrow. A little bit narrow. Where am I meant to turn? That's a tree. That's a tree! Must be after this. Yeah, must be after that. Should be fine. Follow the road. The road knows where it's going. The missile knows where it is because the missile knows where it is not. Oh god, I hate it when people do that. It's almost as bad as the rats. I was crazy once. That drives me insane. Yeah. Like, I want to punch people in the face and say the rubber room with rats crap. Just the same people who do the whole the missile knows where it is because the missile knows where it is not recording. Although someone paid someone to actually make a custom version of that about me and about it being able to lock onto my Titanic behind. Which is very rude and offensive because I do not have a Titanic behind. Although why I'm telling you guys this, I don't know. You had never thought about my behind, so it was perfectly a safe topic until I mentioned it. Now you're wondering, why did I say that? This has really turned into Abingel's verbal diarrhea session, hasn't it? Well, it's that or my navigation skills get looked at, so I better as well talk. Alright, stay low here. There's the open ground. That's what we need to worry about. Let's get across here. There's the power lines. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're over that. Wonderful. We'll stay in the scatter. And we should be okay. I drop lower in these open areas, but there's no point in seeing because the trees will kick back up again. We're staying in the general ballpark of where we need to be altitude-wise, so we should be grand. By the time you watch this, I'll still be pining for Starfield by a day. It should be Wednesday I'll be able to play that. I'm looking forward to it a great deal. I'm sure I know my channel's not a space channel, but you never know. I might post something Starfield related, because it is technically a space game as well. If it turns out to be particularly simmy, I haven't really noticed yet, because I've been avoiding it deliberately on purpose. So if there's enough space sim to it, I might. You never know. But we'll have to find out. Hope it's not a rival maple syrup factory. It looks like a lumber yard. We should be okay. Although those are usually the locations of the beaver anti-aircraft guns, so we'll have to be careful. Don't mind me, little, American people down here? Yes, American people. So we keep the Americans this side of the border. Yeehaw! Oh god, that's a tree! Abraham Lincoln, Eisenhower, George Washington, freedom, coffee. Yes? Good. That has them convinced. They know I'm one of them now. Yeehaw, pickup trucks. There we go. I sound like a much more elegant version of Jeremy Clarkson, and it's not a delightful comparison, but I have noticed myself that my behaviour in an aeroplane can be a lot like a female Jeremy Clarkson, which I'm partly okay with and partly it disgusts me, if I'm honest. It partly disgusts me. But the other part of me is like, yeah, this is power. Because that's something I would totally do. Which is why it hurts me so much to realise. Right, we're on 8 minutes. This must be our final run in here. 19 kilometres, and we have some nice low terrain down here before we head out to the valley proper, which will keep us obscured. We're going to have to fly a bit more carefully. There we go. Keep it down in the weeds. Parallel 42 got around to watching my Will It Bush video with the PA-24, where I took it to 3 of their gnarliest little bush strips. And yes, the short answer is it absolutely will, although it took some serious convincing to do so. This is an airfield. I didn't know there's an airfield here. Hi guys, don't mind me. Look at me, I'm an aeroplane that's just taken off from here. It's completely legitimate and fine. Theoretically, I could have actually flown down here and then actually climbed up to a reasonable altitude and just turned my transponder on, called out on the radio like a normal human being and been like, hi, I am an American airplane taking off from an American airport. I'm not smuggling at all. And it would have been all fine, but I didn't, so I'm stupid. That's a lot of power lines. Well, hello. That's too close for comfort, probably. A few sticks in the gear would have been a bit of an issue, but we'll manage. I'm going very much the wrong direction here, and I need to get out of this because I'm going to lose power very soon, and I don't want to do that. So, let's get the nose down here, turn around, and I'm starting to think Skindred lyrics, which is a bad sign. Stay down in the weeds before we get noticed. That's better. So I'm just going to have to drop further down here and find a way up on the other side. I can't really go up the other way. I still have our high voltage power lines. Nothing could go wrong by flying near those, she said. Hopefully. Okay, we'll stay along the scatter on the ridgeline. There we go. This should take us the right way. Yes, yes, this should do it. No problemo whatsoever. Uh-oh. Airspeed, airspeed, airspeed. We're low down. We're not going to be struggling on that front, but I need to keep an eye on it because this thing will start to spin in if I get into too much trouble. And we're losing airspeed a little critically. Being too nose up, so I'm going to gently hold my angle this way so I can lower the nose and make sure I don't get into too much trouble. There you go. Let it build some airspeed up again. You can get very sensitive on its pitch, I've noticed. This way is fine. We're building speed, we're keeping the nose straight, exactly where we want to be. Looking good. Bit high up, let's keep it down. You've learned far too much about me in this video. I'm concerned I should not post this video. You have learned deep dark secrets about me that I really shouldn't be sharing. How my brain works, my verbal comments, things people have said to me. I shouldn't say these things. You can build a very extensive profile on me on the internet. Oh, there we go. I don't recall if we can see that river from Westwind Farms, but I think it's off to the right, so we should be okay. We're on a roughly straight track here. Stay along the hillside, and we should be fine. We're low enough down to not really cause any problems. We could be down there in the weeds, but again, we're up on the hillside here, so against this close to the tree line, we're going to be pretty fine. More visible from the other side of the valley, but, you know, probably should drop down, shouldn't we? Yeah, but we also chose to fly a yellow plane, which made sense on the Canadian side of the border, less so over here. We're over speeding a little bit. I should hope my wings don't fall off. We're not past VNE yet, she says, watching the needle with hope rather than a plan. Mostly hope at this point. Largely hope. Largely hope. But then again, hope is mostly how I do most of my flying, so they shouldn't come beyond entirely too much confusion for anybody. Just like my proclivity to make stupid noises when things go wrong. Back to Ukrainian Amazon delivery driver mode. I love flying low enough where I can see the 3D rendered grass. My computer loves it! Actually, it doesn't really care because it's a great computer, but I just love the fact I'm low enough to see the grass rendering. Let's pull a high G turn here around these trees. Over into water. There we go. Whew. Little aerobatic, but we'll manage just fine. I really have come to love this aircraft from A2A. It's been a fantastic little piece. It will fly stupid, it will fly sensible. Like I said with Parallel 42, it can land on some tiny little strips if you're careful. If you balance the aircraft, it will do a lot of things. And of course I'm going under the bridge. What do you think before? An idiot. Every chance I get to fly under a bridge, I will take it. But a fantastic aircraft all around. Handles great, it's predictable, it's got its quirks and tricks and weirdnesses like the real thing, but it behaves in a realistic manner. So you can really kind of take it to the edge and hold it there. There is a discernible edge that you can fly this thing on. And it will bend before it breaks, but when it breaks it will kill you. No doubt, it will try to murder you in the face. Okay, we are 3 minutes away here. We'll be arriving in pretty short order with our cargo completely intact and unsampled. We've not been hit by any Beaver anti-aircraft flak or Otter surface-to-air missiles or surface-to-air mammals. Thankfully, of course, those could have been major problems for us. We haven't even needed to use the sawdust dispensers. Should have strapped some logs to the underside of the wings with little, fireworks stuck in the back of them. We could fire them off as like heat-seeking sticks. Right into the gob of a otter flying at us at Mach 2, like a Kinzel with slightly better targeting ability. Okay, and we're 2 minutes out here. We're 4 miles away. We'll have to land, keep it low as well, since we stayed committed to the whole under the radar thing. Like I said, we could have popped up at an airport along the route. Usually a good way to smuggle is to pop up. Oh god, hello. Pop up, fly runway heading, basically along the runway of an untowered strip on the side of the board you want to be on. Climb out from it normally, like you're an aircraft departing there, and then just behave like a regular flight. No one pays attention to a domestic flight. A domestic GA flight draws very little attention in uncontrolled airspace. No one cares, no one notices, you are one flight of many. I mean, if you use the same place all the time, they're going to think it's weird. But if you go down and kind of cross the border again by dropping below the radar at that exact point again, you become predictable. And when you're recognized and known, you're boring. And boring is very useful. Unusual gets you spotted. Not usual. Right, speaking of usual, we're about to arrive. So I need to work out how we're getting ourselves down here. Climb inland from where we are currently. And uphill a little bit. We should be okay though. We've got plenty of boost left in the throttle here. Time to turn in after this little headland. Up we go. On target. Up we go over the tree. And we're still roughly on heading. We have to spot this thing very carefully from a very low level approach and landing. But it shouldn't be too difficult. Where are you? Should be below to our left, coming up very soon. I know it's at least visible, so we should be okay. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ooh. That's it. Okay. Okay, I know where we are now. Hi cows, we're back. Okay, now we perform our low-level pattern and approach. Gear comes down at the last second as does flaps. So I need to stay slick and maneuverable here at this altitude. Stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low. Don't hit the terrain. Don't hit the terrain. The terrain will be bad. There we go. And we are at flap speeds now. 2 stages flaps. Runway is in sight. Rolling in. A little fast, but we'll make it work. Whoa, Nelly! Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, that's grass. That's a lot of grass. That's a lot of grass. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's a tree. That's a tree coming up really quickly. Whew, okay. We survived. I want to fly that next. Hey, Blackbird, finish your Huey. God, what are you doing with your lives? Hoo-wee. That was a little stressful, wasn't it? I say little, that was quite stressful. Yippee-ki-yay. The work here is done, Captain Whiskers. We are alive, mostly. We are here. We made it. We brought Dave's supplies in. Dave, inverted commas. And we arrived without getting shot down by the beavers or the otters, and the Mounties didn't catch us. TSA didn't molest us. And we did it. Border Patrol? Yeah, they're easy. Whew. Hope you enjoyed that stupidity, and please don't judge me too harshly on the things I said during this video. I say weird things when I'm concentrating. Bye! Power!